Hey, what's up everyone? This is your boy James and I am back with another video for you guys today. And today I'm doing another of these, reaction videos when it comes to I'm not sure what the hell's going on, excuse my language, but when it comes to with the previous videos that I did about, what with certain women that, oh man, I totally forgot when it comes to the places that they don't want to go to on the first date, and when it comes to with men, certain women that they shouldn't date. And now when it comes to with this list also, and this is from a content creator called Chumaki. So, shout out to him when it comes to creating this list. My friend of mine sent me this list too when it comes to what you guys see on the screen. And it really says that men that don't need to be dating. So when it comes to with this list, I'm not sure what's going on. But when I first look at this list, I just find it really, really crazy and wild too. So when it comes to that, we're gonna, I'm gonna be breaking down to this too when it comes to what you guys see on the screen too. And this is no against anyone who's have a different opinion, or when it comes to just like with this list also, I'm just really breaking it down from my own experience, not trying to talk shit, just really, bring some educational insight too when it comes to that, and reacting to it, of course. But when it comes to with this list also, men that don't need to be dating, and it's just like looking at this list also, it's pretty wild also. And it's really, there's like at least like 29 of things that, certain men that don't need to be dating. So when it comes to that, and just really speaking of it from a masculine perspective, what the first one that we see also is men with toddlers or younger. I mean, it's just like, I'm not a dad, so I can't not, share the perspective when it comes to, being a dad, but I know some men who are awesome dads also. And including, the ones that I know too, who raised me, like my dad, God bless his soul too, and I love him dearly. It's just like, you never know what's happening out here too, maybe, the partner they split, or if they pass away, you never know what might happen. So men who are single dads or younger, there might be a circumstance to that too. So you can't just, just judge all of them. But, I can understand if like certain women who kind of don't want to date, men with kids too, just because that's, you never know, they have like baby mamas or baby mama drama also. But at the same time, you never know, maybe, their partner passed away from sickness, or they're just like with anything also, you never know. Life is unpredictable like that. And so I'm just leaving it at that when it comes to number one. Number two, men that live with their mom, with their mama. I mean, I get it too if a woman's dating a man who still lives with his mom. I mean, sometimes, maybe, that particular man is really close to his family. So like with me, for example, like before my mom passed, I was very close to her. We're like partners in crime. I always help her out when it comes to the groceries and everything else. But at the same time, she wanted me, her own son, to really have his own life. So it's kind of like if I ever say moved out someday, or when it comes to with that, I mean, I had no problem doing that. Or it's just like nowadays things are tough, things are expensive, and kind of like living is not cheap too. But at the same time, I get it when it comes to just certain women who feel uncomfortable just dating men who live with their mom, because he's not probably passionate about certain things in his life, or he's just he loves his family, or it's just like maybe he's lazy, or maybe he's just like I think that's the first one I said too when it comes to not having like any kind of desires and goals in his life too. So you never know, so it could be one of the three too. Either he doesn't have any kind of like aspirations or goals in his life, that he wants to have a place for himself, or he is family oriented and he's just wants to help out his parents, particularly his mom, in a healthy way. Or it could be a combination of the three too. I don't know. So I'm just speaking from my own experience. And number three is totally relatable, because it's kind of like, dealing with baby mama drama too, that's really kind of like really unhealthy. If you're dating like a man who's kind of like living with his baby mama, he's not like, it's really a lot of crazy stuff there too, and a lot of problems can come with that. Just from my own experience, hearing from other women that I know, and with other people too, particularly when it comes to with the men who live with their baby mamas. That's kind of like really, 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 really problematic right there too, just because he's probably trying to have his cake and eat it too, or it's just other stuff that's happening. So number 3 is relatable, understandable. Number 4 too is understandable as well with the down low men. It's just like, if a woman is, or just like, or women who are just, dating someone who's just in the closet, they're not, embracing who they are or anything like that. That could really just be problematic, and it can be more than just being on the down low. It could really be that, that particular guy is hiding other things too. So you never know. The down low man, that's kind of really understandable because he's hiding something, and that could really be problematic down the road if, she or he, just being inclusive, just continues to date that person too. And number 5, that's just, I get it when it comes to men who don't have a driver's license. I'll tell you this too. I just got my license around 2020 just because, I was just like, I wasn't sure when it comes to, driving safe around the road too. But at the same time, I'd really done it in a really fast pace. Just really studying about it and just really getting my license. And it was just really, it didn't take that long to get my license too. And, it was just so weird because I had the car which my mom gave me for Honda. And then all of a sudden, I just didn't have the license. I always kept putting it off, and that was my fault, and I'll take accountability of that. But now I'm driving like every other day, going to the gym, seeing my friends, and other stuff too. So when it comes to that, and there's nothing wrong having a license too. And I can understand if women are kind of put off, just like when it comes to men who don't have their driver's license, or maybe it's just like he has other ways of transportation too, like in other countries he probably has a bike, or when it comes to getting like a Uber, you never know. But I can understand most women are coming from if they don't feel comfortable dating a man who's just like doesn't have a driver's license. But it can also just be other ways to gaining transportation too in other circumstances. So that's just my own thing saying that. And number 6, men that bank with cash. Number 6, that's kind of like, I don't understand that one, so I'm not going to really comment on that one too. But all I can say is just like, I can tell it maybe can be problematic. I don't know per se too with number 6. So if anyone is just really listening when it comes to number 6 here too, just feel free to educate me on that too. So I may be living under a rock or anything like that. So who knows? So number 7, it's just like men that sad. It kind of really goes with number 4, I think, just because being on the down low and all that. And but my pops is telling me too, and for those who grew up in the 90s and early 2000s, there was this thing, and especially when it comes to like with hip hop culture, having to stand and sag a little bit. And I didn't understand it at first. And with me, people in younger generation are really influenced with that, trying to be in the trends. I kind of did that in the ways, but my dad, thank goodness, really educated me about that. And it's just like, what? Never again. So when it comes to that, and I'm not gay too. It's just when it comes to learning what the meaning of that too, it's like men, like I think Eddie Griffin said this too, and one of the comedy skits too, men that sag are kind of like in the down low or something. I don't know, but it's just really, number 7 really relates to number 4 too. And number 8, yeah, that's totally, a red flag there too. Men that don't take care of their kids just because, it really says a lot if a man doesn't take care of his kids too, or it could be with anyone in general, but particularly when it comes to with this list, I can understand if women are turned off about men who don't take care of their kids. It's a huge red flag, and it can really manifest in the most craziest ways too. in other areas. And number 9 is also understandable as well. Men that disrespect women too. So when it comes to that, people don't like assholes. I'll just say that at least, whether they're a man or a woman. And just like men who disrespect women in the most craziest ways. I mean, I didn't. Oh man. Oh shit. It's crazy, and it's just like it really will turn a lot of people off. It particularly with the women also who you see men who disrespect women in certain ways too. I know there's crazy people out there, but just to really talk shit about women in the most disrespectful way too, it can really be a big red flag. So really number 9 is understandable. Number 10, men that don't own a suit. That kind of really it's not, I think, to me, this is just my own opinion, you guys can disagree. And it's just like, I have a suit, but it doesn't fit me. I'm not sure, just because, I haven't worn my suits since 2012. So it's kind of like, if I ever had a chance to get a new suit, I'll do it. I love to, dress, fashionably nowadays too. But when it comes to with their own preferences, men have a particular, preference when it comes to how they want to dress too. So if they don't own a suit, that's okay. Sometimes maybe he doesn't want to get a suit right now, or if he likes to just dress, in a certain way too, that really feels right for him. But understandable if, most women that, don't feel comfortable with a man doesn't have a suit. Maybe, you're that woman, a particular person likes to go to church, or they like to, go to like certain areas too that really just requires you to really dress up in a really, particular way too. But at the same time, most men have different preferences when it comes to just dressing up, and there's nothing wrong with that too. So if men don't have a suit, that's his choice. But at the same time, I get it when it comes to, most people are turned off by it, particularly when it comes to with the opposite sex. So I don't know, it's kind of like 50-50 with number 10 too. So, and number 11, men that live in motels. That kind of could really be a red flag if like he's really doing some other stuff too. I don't have any particular experience with, knowing certain people who lived in motels, but I heard some stories about it too. Maybe, people are, in a struggling time too. So, or they're doing some other crazy stuff too. So I'm kind of 50-50 on that too. I don't know. So if you guys want to share, educate me about that too, feel free to let me know. Number 12, men that want to hold a couple of dollars. I think number 12 is really means like if he's being chintzy or if he's being cheap. I kind of get that too, but at the same time, there's nothing wrong. Just like if you need if you need something that's important, like groceries or paying the bills, it's really got to do what you got to do to pay those kind of bills. But at the same time, also you really got to find ways to spend some money and to save some money too. So it's kind of like, I'm the 50-50 on that too. I'm not cheap, but at the same time, I know when to not to spend money and when I need to spend money too. So when I need to save up, when I need to just spend some money on certain things too. So I'm kind of 50-50 on number 12 too. You guys could disagree, that's totally cool. I can understand it's just like when it comes to saving money, just like for important things, but at the same time, there's nothing wrong just like spend some money on yourself or the people that you care about on a regular basis. Could be like with your partner, your family, or for yourself basically too, if it's your birthday or Christmas or something. And number 13 says men whose clothes are in tubs. So I started talking about like plastic tubs because like honestly with me, and this is just me with my OCD, I say OCD, but my OCD and my Asperger's brain too. It's just like I have my video games in tubs too. And it's just nothing wrong with that too. I like to organize stuff, make sure everything is just there too. But men with clothes who are in tubs, I don't know. To reached your own, I guess. Oh no, I'm not sure what that means, but I think of tubs. I mean, like kind of like, is it like bathtubs or is it tubs like where you put in like plastic things, like with like certain things you pack up, So if this talking about bathtubs, that could be really crazy, but tubs, I'm not sure if it's plastic tubs. So feel free to elaborate on that with me too on number 13 right here too. Just because like I have like plastic containers where I put my video games where I don't lose them, so it won't be all over the place, and really just keep it organized. But I'm not sure what tubs mean too with this list. Sorry to chuckle, but I'm trying to understand it. So feel free to educate me about that too. And so number 14, men that can't log into anything without help. I mean, I get that also. It could really be a turnoff. Just because it's, well, actually take that back. Maybe sometimes maybe that person needs some help with doing something that he doesn't understand, and once he figures it out, then he'll figure it out. But there's nothing wrong with asking for help. But I'm not sure it's necessarily like a turnoff. Maybe he doesn't understand something that needs to be doing, or just like when it comes to that. But there's nothing wrong asking for help, because we're not perfect. We're not Tony Stark. We're not Bruce Wayne. We're not T'Challa. Too. So it's kind of like like really asking for help. There's nothing wrong with that, but just really doing that in the most healthiest ways too is really, really, it can be really good. So number 14, logging into anything without help. I mean, I get that also, but at the same time, it's just like, I don't think there's necessarily wrong with that if you really just need help to log in to something that's kind of like complicated. So I don't know. Feel free to educate me about that too, guys. Number 15, men that gotta tell their mama. Yeah, that's kind of like, that could be a turn off also, and problematic, just because, it's just like if you're in a relationship with someone and you're just telling all their secrets, it can really just, it tells, it shows that, that person is not reliable, and it's just like they can't keep stuff to themselves. So I understand that also too with number 15. That can really be a turnoff when it comes to with that. Number 16, even just going back to number 15 for a bit, and it's just like in the past, I used to, ask for advice when it comes to with my mom, God bless her soul, but I didn't tell like everything that I was doing too, with my dating life. But I just always ask her, from like a woman's perspective too, what would you do? How would I talk to women and certain things like that? And so like she always gave me the most honest and real and best advice ever, especially from a strong Black woman's advice too. So that's what I love about my mom too, and I always talk about her. It's just like she always kept it real, and always just tells the truth no matter what. Because I'm her son, and she doesn't want to lie to me too. So, but at the same time, not telling everything too. It's like you got to keep some wits about you towards yourself and to the people that you're involved with if you're in a relationship. So number 15 is understandable as well. It could be really a turn off. And number 16, 16 and 17, men that work for FedEx or temporary service. I mean, there's nothing wrong with like having a job too. If he enjoys working for FedEx or temp service, I mean, sometimes, with me, I was volunteering at a yoga studio, but I decided to stop there just because what happened with my friend, I'm not going to mention it, but it's just like, working at FedEx, I know it paid like good money too. And I know like minimum wage is up too in most states. Feel free to educate me about that too if anyone is listening to this. It's just like, there's nothing wrong having like a FedEx job if he's getting paid for it and he's enjoying it and he's making good money. That's cool. And same goes with like truck drivers. I know some people who are really, truck drivers, who especially in like back in, oh man, I'm not sure if she's doing it now too, but I knew some truck drivers who are really, love doing their job, and especially working in like in the entertainment industry. So that's a cool job to have. Also very, it could really just be, like time consuming because you're away from your family as well. So it's like truck drivers or FedEx or temp service. There's nothing wrong with those jobs too if you enjoy it, you're making good money, and you're helping people. There's something wrong with that as well. And that's just to each their own, I guess. So, but number 19, I totally get that, and I'll tell you a story about number 19. Because I know what grand rising means when it comes to in certain cultures, especially in the certain cultures also, but at the same time on social media, when I get those messages from grand rising, it's always the people who are trying to scam me too. So number 19 is totally understandable from my own experience, just because every single week, even every month also, it's just like I always get those messages from them grand rising people too, especially when it comes to certain men and women too. So number 19 is totally understandable on this list. And number 20, I'm not sure what that means. What WY demon? I'm not sure what that means. So feel free to educate me on that too. WY demon. Oh, I don't know what that number 20 means. So I'm totally out of the loop. So feel free to educate me about that if anyone is listening and watching this video, or this reaction video too, I should say. Number 21, men with multiple kids. And yeah, that could really just, it ties into like number 3, when it comes to living with their baby mamas. Because, it's kind of like with multiple kids with different women, that's really problematic, and it shows like he's not loyal to that particular person. So men that has multiple kids and baby mamas, that can really, really, really be problematic, And so men that bash women that can really be a problem too. Number 22 on social media. And it really shows that he's just kind of like misogynistic, or when it comes to hating, the opposite sex, and he's talking shit about them every day on social media. It can be like on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, TikTok, and especially on YouTube. Also, there's a lot of that I've seen on certain channels that talk a lot of shit about women, like black women and white women and all kind of stuff too. So it's crazy. And number 23, let's see right here, men that have to load their card to add money to it. Oh, wait, let me read that shit again. So men that have to load their card to add money. Men that have to load their card to add. Oh shoot. I'm sorry to say this, but I have no idea what this one means too. I'm totally oblivious. So if you guys want to educate me about that also, it could really be like, totally outside my norm also. Because like men who have to load their card to add money to it, I mean, oh man, I'm not sure what that means, but I don't know, I'm kind of oblivious about that too. So I might, if you guys want to educate me about that with number 23, feel free to let me know. And number 24, and men that don't keep their locks. Oh, you mean like dreadlocks? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Just because if you keep your hair unkempt, if it's like nappy, if it's like uncombed, and it looks like, Heihachi Mishima or Wolverine. I mean, I totally get that. You really got to take care of yourself. And especially when it comes to self-care too, it's always good to, take care of yourself, take care of your hair, especially too, like if you have locks, if you have like short hair, afro, or anything like that. Also, taking care of your hair is really important, especially when it comes to self-care too. When it comes to just taking care of yourself, in general. So number 24 is understandable. And number 25, men, hairline gone, but they can, oh, that's cold. So I understand that too, just because if men are kind of like hiding, like, their hairline too, if they have like a bald spot, it's kind of like, I'm not here to judge, but it's understandable if like most women are turned off by it, just because it shows that, maybe he's, hiding something, or he's just like when it comes to other things too. But it's just like sometimes too, I know like most men are kind of like, they're really kind of insecure about that when it comes to with their hairline, especially as they get older too. And it's just, Yeah, I'm not trying to talk shit or anything, but it's just like when it comes to, with the hairline. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's just like it could really be a turnoff if someone is really lying to them, and just like when it comes to with their hairline. But at the same time, I understand if it's like, you know, most men are insecure about it too, and don't want to talk about it just because it's like a sensitive topic. So it's like 50-50 with number 25. Because with me, I have like a lot of full of hair, but I'm not insecure about it. But at the same time, I know some men who are kind of like, insecure about it when it comes to with their hair, and I get it. So I don't know. Number 25 is 50-50. And so number 26, men that always talk about what they used to. Number 26, it's just like, there's nothing wrong, like I say, like, talking about the past if you have achieved some goals in your life. If like, say, if you had like an accomplishment that happened like a couple of years ago and you like to talk about it too, that's like a good memory. That's that's okay. But at the same time, also, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like what they used to have. Also, it's just like sometimes it can really be a turnoff if it's just like that person is stuck in the past and not being fully present right now in their very lives. So it's kind of like it's kind of like with like Al Bundy too. Like he talks about he made that 4 touchdowns in one game, but at the same time he always goes back to the past because that was kind of like his glory days, and now he's just being a shoe salesman at at the particular store, and he's has his a family too. So I understand that if it's like a turnoff, if like someone's always talking about it in the past, but at the same time, it could really just be a good way to reflect, to really just learn, and to really just doing that. And it can also, like, with certain people that being turned off by it when it comes to with number 26, it's just like maybe like most women will probably see that those guys are probably has some regret when it comes to talking about the past a lot, but at the same time it could also be a way of just really reflecting and learning and appreciating that what we did too. So you never know. So with number 26, it could be kind of 50-50. And number 27 is really, really, really relatable. Married men shouldn't be dating at all just because they're married to that particular person. And if a married man is going out his way to just in the dating market, it really just shows that he's not a faithful partner. So it's kind of like, that's a really big red flag on number 27 here too, when it comes to that, And it's just like, why is a married guy just on dating apps and on social media trying to hook up with people? That doesn't make any sense. Unless, in certain communities, like if they're in an open relationship or if they're polyamorous, that's kind of wild out there. I know that's not for everyone, but that happens. But at the same time, that kind of doesn't look good on the surface too when it comes to being a married guy and trying to hook up with other people, especially when it comes to with other women too. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that when it comes to number 27. It can really, really be a red flag, totally relatable and understandable. And number 28, men without transportation. That kind of goes with number 5 right here, right? So men without transportation or license, they don't have their own car too. I mean, I get it too. There's other ways of getting like transportation. I know there's like Uber right now too, but I know in most countries they have like bikes or just like when it comes to without transportation. But in America, you gotta have your own whip. So I say your own whip, your own car. And now other sides coming out. So gotta have your own whip, your car, and it's just like I get it when it comes to being like a turnoff and a red flag when it comes to a man that doesn't have his own transportation, just because if like let's say that particular man wants to take someone out, particularly like someone from the opposite sex, and it's just like they want to go out for watch a movie or go to dinner, go to an arcade or something too, and it's just like he doesn't have his own transportation, he relies on like say his parents or other people to do that. That could really, really be a turnoff for women too. So number 28 is really, really, really understandable. And it kind of goes with number 5, I believe, too, right here. And number 29, oh my, this is the most craziest one. Men that are cowboy. This reminds me of my dad, because he's not much of a Cowboys fan, just because he loves sports and he loves football particularly. But that's their own preference. If men are Cowboy fans, that's cool. You don't have to bash them about that. But at the same time, it's just like I like NFL too, and I like LA Rams too. So it's kind of like, I'm not gonna bash anyone who's a Cowboys fan. So to each your own. With number 29, that's their own preference. That's not really a turn off. So if men are Cowboys fans and they're from that state, when it comes to Texas, that's their own preference, and there's nothing wrong with that, being a Cowboy fan. And so when it comes to that, I think number 29 is the most craziest one. But if you guys are not a Cowboys fans too, or any women who's not a Cowboys fans, that's totally your preference, but you don't have to really just bash someone about that too. So, oh man, when it comes to the whole list here too, it's just crazy how, like, not just with this list, but also with other ones that I see on social media also. It's just like, I know that when it comes to with the Cheesecake Factory incident, when it comes to what we saw on social media, it just really started that. And it's just really wild and sad at the same time how this is progressing nowadays too. And I just hope that, people find ways to just heal and to just really, be better people on a regular basis, just because, I know sometimes there are, bad people out there too, but but there's always good people out there too. So when it comes to people in the dating market, it's really good to discern and just really knowing what you're getting into and who to look out for, and looking out for those red flags and green flags and white flags, whatever you want to call it too. So when it comes to that, and especially for anyone who is new to my channel also and liked what I said or disagreed about what I said too, you're more than welcome to share your own feelings and thoughts in the comment section. And just like when it comes to that also, I just hope that you can take something out of this too when it comes to with this reaction video. If not, that's totally cool. But I'll link the original post, the video by Shumaki also, I believe that's his name, also in the description below, so you guys can really check it out, the video for yourself, and just really from your own feelings and opinions about it also when it comes to with this list. So all credit goes to the Shumaki way, when it comes to with this list. Hope I'm saying his name right. I don't want to butcher this man's name, so it's just when it comes to with this list, I just hope that any women out there who still wants to date men, just really finding ways to just really connect with people who appreciate you, and just really staying away from people who are trying to bring you down also. Same goes to the men out there too, who are dealing with people who are just really bringing you down, and just really find people who want to connect with you, who want to see you grow, want to see you prosper in life. And same goes to women also too, and staying away from all the crazy ass people who want to just bring you down and for their own self-worth also. So with that being said, I am going to log off here too. When it comes, I say log off, but just really closing this video. Also, if you guys have enjoyed this video, feel free to share it, like this video, share this with your friends, subscribe to my channel also too if you're comfortable doing so. And this channel is all about self-care and wellness for the body, for the heart, for our mind, and especially in our relationships with ourselves and other people in our environment also when it comes to that. And I'm looking forward to connect with you guys with more videos, maybe similar to this or something different too in the near future. So if you want to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified, and hitting the like button, that really helps with this video too, and share with your friends also if you feel comfortable sharing. So much love, and you guys take care of yourselves, and may we continue to practice self-care that could be beneficial to ourselves, our loved ones, and our whole environment. And you guys take care, stay safe, connect with people who appreciate you and want to see you grow, and just really staying away from people who want to bring you down. So that's pretty much what I gotta say when it comes to with this list, and I'm out. So, and much love. Peace and namaste.